Bitcoin has had the highest monthly close which we've ever seen, so bullish continuation might be the name of the game, but we'll assess in today's show what you can expect going forward. We're also going to have a look at my top 3 altcoin picks going into the next couple of months of this bull run, and also when we could possibly expect a pullback. How long will this rally continue? So without further ado, let's get straight into the show. And if you have a look over here, the biggest candle that we've ever seen with Bitcoin was $20,000. This is what it looked like in the previous candles. We had a $12,000 candle followed by a $13,500 candle and then straight back down. And then the absolute peak of the last cycle was a $17,500 candle. So very big moves over here. Vote in the poll section below. What is most likely for Bitcoin in the month of March? I want to know your thoughts. There is a poll section if you look below. Is it going to be a green close for Bitcoin? Is it going to be choppy sideways price action? Or are we going to close red? Make sure you put your votes in, smash the like button, hit the bell notification, and definitely be subscribed to the channel. You can see retail are on their way back into the market right now as we currently speak. And I'm sure many of you may be new here as well. So if you look over here, Coinbase ranking in the App Store has moved from 422 down to 345, down to 252, and then to 128. And that's literally over a 4-day period, which is massive. If you look at other popular YouTubers as well, which are non-crypto related, but you have Marcus Brownlee saying, remember Bitcoin, right? So those posts are starting to come out. You have also another popular YouTuber, KSI, saying, let me put 0.1% of my net worth back into crypto. Bank says no. So all these guys are starting to return and they'll be leading the masses back in, leading their millions and millions of followers. Here you have KSI. Well, he actually only on Twitter has 370,000, but on YouTube he'll have many millions. And Marcus was 6.2 million, one of the top viewed YouTube channels in the world. So what can we expect for the month of March? Well, if we look at the Bitcoin returns on a monthly scale, this is what they look like. We'll also look at what Ethereum's returns look like. But ultimately, March is one of those months where it's really a 50-50 split. So I'm kind of seeing the same thing when I look at your poll results over here in terms of if you're voting, it's going to be green, choppy, or a red close. And that's essentially what you get, right? A lot of repricing back within the market, some mean reversions, and ultimately that's what leads to some green months, some red. It's a coin toss on Bitcoin, and Ethereum probably looks exactly the same. Let's see. Here's Ethereum. Okay, Ethereum, less history, mostly green. Ethereum's more green. Maybe we see that transition into the altcoin market. And the timing cycle persists. Everything is following along to absolute perfection. The RSI is now crossed and officially closed above that 70 mark. And we outlined previously, every time that happens, the bull run does tend to continue for a number of months later. And I actually mapped out how many further months of upside you could potentially have before you reach the absolute ultimate top. So when you look at the prior cycles and you measure from the time from the new all-time high to the final peak, this is what it looked like. So once that all-time high was actually broken with the first pierced candle over there, then you went on to rally for another 9 months. So the bull run lasted exactly 9 more months and then you came down. And the same is true over here. Sorry, that was this one. That was this one over here. If you look at this one over here, this one lasted for 10 months, but you kind of had a double top, right? So you rallied up for 1, 2, 3, 4 months. You came down for 3 months, and then you rallied once again, giving you the total rally from this point all the way to that point being 10 months, which means that is this time going to be the same? If it is, then it truly may actually be a shorter cycle, right? We can adapt and observe price action as it starts to unfold. But ultimately, if you look at something like that and we make the assumption that leading into the month of March is when we're going to pierce and break this all-time high, and you go 9 months forward, well, that would literally be December of this year. 10 months forward would take you into January of 2025, at which point this might be in line with the popular Twitter analyst named 𝗕𝗓𝗓, who's been saying that he believes that we're going through a massive, very quick rally towards the upside, a blow-off top, and consequently a recession will follow soon after. So I'm always open to being wrong. I'm still sticking more with this theory of the normal cycles, the 4-year cycles, in alignment with the 18.6-year cycle, which should suggest that we should have at least another 12 to 18 months of upside. Now, this is very important for you to understand because you need to make adequate decisions on how long you actually plan on buying and holding. It's one thing to buy the bottom of the market. I personally find it much easier to buy the bottom of the market compared to selling when there's euphoria in the air. And you're starting to see a lot of that. I'm going to show you why. Firstly, in alignment as well over here, you have the 2-month Bollinger Bands, which have reached those bottoms. And this also indicates that there should be a lot more upside many, many months to come. But KW says, well, over here, it's the global liquidity index, which we identified a couple of months ago, was reaching that bottom point and starting to turn back up. And he says all that matters is that ETF flows continue and amplify this global liquidity towards the upside, meaning that crypto will follow, right? If you look over here at Nate, he's showing as well the effect of those ETFs. So 9 new spot Bitcoin ETFs have vacuumed up 350,000 Bitcoins in 7 weeks, which is absolutely enormous. So what is this going to do to price, right? This is unprecedented buying that we have currently going on within the market. And that's one of the reasons why we're obviously moving up so quickly. And ultimately, we might even break those all-time highs before the halving, which is marked off by the yellow line over here, which is only meant to be in April. This hasn't happened in the price cycles. Look at the price cycles. Usually, we only break the all-time highs post-halving, and even pre-halving, you get big pullbacks, right? So this was pre-halving over here in the first cycle, and then the second cycle over here, this was also pre-halving. You had that massive sell-off, and then it takes time to reaccumulate, and up you go. Also noteworthy, I know this is very dimmed out over here, but usually you pause or reject from the 618 or the 786 fib retracement level, and this time we're smashing straight through, and we've now closed high time frame levels on a monthly scale, which is significant. It suggests probable continuation is the name of the game. So Daniel says over here, this is some of the bullish posts that you're going to see talking about controlling the euphoria within the market, or those euphoric feelings. This is the kind of stuff that you're going to see posted. He says Bitcoin needs to go to $1 million per coin, or we actually have a problem, right? $500 million ETF daily inflows equals any price less than $1 million, and Wall Street will need to search for coins because there's not going to be any coins available, and consequently those prices need to go up. So only 450 of the new coins soon to be available each day, he says over here. That this is in alignment with what Balaji, remember what Balaji was calling for $1 million Bitcoin, I think within 6 weeks or something, which of course we didn't hit. But they're talking about the Bitcoin liquid supply versus the illiquid supply. Most of these coins have been locked in cold storage and are not on exchanges or even available to buy. So it's creating a very interesting dilemma within the market. And we said many months ago that we want to be hyper focused on what's happening with the USD stablecoin supply. And you can see how that's ultimately led to price rallying aggressively towards the upside. The liquidity does continue to flow within crypto, as well as the rest of the market. You can see China have been stimulating throughout the last couple of months to even a year. And Edward Snowden, he has some interesting predictions over here, so put on your tinfoil hat. He says a national government will be revealed this year to have been buying Bitcoin, the modern replacement for monetary gold, without having disclosed that fact publicly. So he's saying some major country is going to come out and actually say that they've been buying Bitcoin all along. The reason why I'm bringing this to your attention, these incredibly bullish and bold statements, like the Bitcoin needs to go to $1 million, the ETF inflows. You have obviously Edward Snowden saying things like this. These are signs and symptoms of major cycle tops that you need to pay attention to. When you start to see calls for $1 million Bitcoin, $2 million, $5 million, $500,000 Bitcoin by the end of the cycle, that's where you need to be careful. So also, if price rallies up too quickly without pausing or consolidating, then you're going to get smashed to the downside. Now, that's your Bitcoin overview. We'll go into a couple more things on Bitcoin, but essentially I just wanted to give you a higher time overview, and we will get into the DGen altcoin stuff in just a moment. I see that you guys are talking about 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗓𝗓 AI. We're going to get into some of those DGen coins. Drop your comments, smash the like button. Let me know which coins you want charted as well, and we'll bring that up shortly. Although we have the monthly close, which was very, very significant, I'm still waiting to see what Bitcoin does over here on a weekly scale. It's a very, very easy invalidation on the bullish narrative when looking at this chart, because it's literally as simple as this, right? We have our high time frame range, and it's as simple as this. If Bitcoin closes over here, that's going to be great. Then we'll look for maybe a consolidation and continuation. And the bullish invalidation would literally be this, right? If we start to close back below that key $60,000 level, then ultimately we can consider that a deviation, and we can play it level to level. 53,000 would be the first most notable zone of support, and thereafter we'll be looking down to $45,000 as the next major level. So pretty easy to invalidate on the long. So long as Bitcoin remains above $60,000 in the short to medium time frame, it's onwards and upwards, and that continuation will be just that, continuation, right? BBWP still showing strong momentum towards the upside. That all looks good. We do have a lot of longs versus shorts though right now. We have almost for every one short, there is 9 longs, right? Pretty significant over there. So the cumulative volume delta over here and the funding rates are extremely, extremely positive, meaning it will just take one quick wick to the downside to capture a whole lot of liquidity, which probably gets bought up very, very quickly. Now, a lot of you might be worried about the funding rates and whether they're too high. You're paying a lot of money to hold open long positions. Trust me, I know, because I have a massive amount of positions open. We'll go through some of those today. And I just opened another one. I'll also share that one with you on today's show. Smash the like button. Let's get it to 1,000 likes, and I'll make sure to bring that up. So he says over here, funding is disgusting at the moment, but that does not mean that price necessarily has to come down. He says he would happily pay 0.1% on funding every 8 hours if the market continues to pump at 5% per day, right? The risk to reward is still there. Think of it, 0.1% versus 5%. So your downside is 0.1%, 3 times a day. So you're losing 0.3% per day, but you're gaining 4.7% more, 4.907%. So almost 5% a day if price continues to the upside. And all in all, you can continue to stomach this for a lot longer than people think is possible, right? So remember, it goes with that saying, the market can remain irrational. So the funding can also remain irrational much longer than you can remain solvent if you're fading that trend. So the trend is your friend until the end of the trend. There it is. Here's your aggregate funding rates continuing back towards the upside, price grinding up. Let's have a look over here. Also on the low time frame, I'm on the hourly. You can see spot still bidding, leverage also still bidding. The open interest has actually come down, so a lot of people have been closing their long positions. If we do start to break these levels down, your short-term first area of interest is going to be at $57,000. Watch as price comes into that $57,000 level. Pull up your CVD spot over here and see what spot is doing when it comes into that level. If you see that it's rolling back down, so if it comes down into this level, spot comes down, and then as it hits that level, price starts to bounce, and spot and leverage pick up with a big increase in open interest. You know, everybody's opening longs into support over there, and that probably leads to a price bounce. Now, if you look over here at trading lights as well, and we can see what's happening with the orders, ultimately, these are some of the bigger orders that I've seen come onto the table with 300 to 400 at $65,000. These are sell orders which have just come onto the market. So today is the first day that I've noticed a little bit of a shift in the sentiment, and actually people are putting sell orders higher up, maybe considering taking profit. They might be getting a little bit fearful. But in terms of high orders in the region of 500 to 1,000, we see nothing. The order book still remains pretty empty, and big players have not yet stepped in to sell Bitcoin. So let's continue. Bitcoin dominance is capped right now at the mid-range of this level. We've been playing it from 50 to 60%, saying that there is a possibility that it can get to 60%, but first we need to see closes above the mid-range level. Now, the probability is still very, very slightly in the edge of the bulls, meaning that Bitcoin dominance should trend higher because it broke out of a high time frame range and you're in a clear uptrend, right? Higher highs and higher lows is the name of the game. So that doesn't mean that all altcoins will get wrecked. There will still be some altcoins that will outperform Bitcoin, many of which we've dropped on the channel as well as in Whale Room. So you guys have been crushing it over there. You know that even from the calls live here on the show this week, they're up significantly, which is why you probably keep coming back. So thank you for that. Please also share this with a family member or friend so that they don't come too late to the party. Nevertheless, Bitcoin against the majority of the altcoin market probably outperforms until it gets to about 60%. So we'll watch that level carefully, but you can see the shift will eventually turn, right? Here's the year-to-date performance for these different cryptos, and you're starting to see the overlap, the very first phase of, or you're moving into phase 2 of the market cycle. Phase 1 being where Bitcoin outperforms everything. Phase 2, ETH slowly starts to outperform because it's Bitcoin up 41%, ETH 46%. Other major caps, which is going to be phase 3, Solana, AVAX, they are still underperforming against both Bitcoin and ETH. And this is the way the cycle works. I'm sure you guys have seen that image before. The flow of money within crypto, Bitcoin first, ETH, then ETH completely outperforms. Then there's an overlap into a couple of the large caps like the Solana, AVAX, Injectives, etc. And consequently, that overflows into the mid caps and then the low caps. So you can see the cycle's actually playing out almost to perfection, even though people think it doesn't exist anymore. So very, very soon, you might start to see much more talk about Ethereum because the ETH BTC chart over here has been in this reaccumulation range. We broke the long-term downtrend, which pretty much held price ever since ETH BTC broke back into its range all the way over here. On the 7th of September 2022, it lost that level and it was capped all the way down, all the way down, all the way down. And we've said for a long time, this is your reaccumulation range. And looking back 6 months to 12 or in 6 to 12 months, when you look back on this video, you'll probably see that this analysis was spot on because ETH BTC is going to do this. And it's going to sweep those range highs. So I said you can quote me on this. I believe that this low over here will hold. And this is going to be low 1, high low 3, and consequently breaks back into the range. And very, very soon you're going to see the outperformance of ETH BTC, which means we need to be well positioned, which is, of course, what the show title and thumbnail suggests. What 3 altcoins, if I could only hold and buy 3 things to do phenomenally well over the next couple of months, what would they be to potentially even make millions of dollars? Well, it depends on how much capital you have, but we'll get into that in a moment. Let's continue on over here. You can see total 3 also continuing towards the upside. All in all, that's looking good. Bitcoin above all important timeframes that matter over there. So trend continuation. And what do I have over here? Let's quickly go to Bitcoin on the 4-hour, just see what's happening. Okay, moving averages. You got your 21 exponential, which is kind of governing the short-term trend. So in the short term, as long as prices remain above that, all in all, it's going to be looking good. Stochastic RSI is about to trend back up. This was our short-term invalidation, which can now basically be raised. I'd be looking for price to bounce from this exact level where we're at right now for Bitcoin and expecting this to become the next invalidation zone. So you're kind of capped in a short-term range between these two zones. The zones being priced now at 60,900, call it 61, and on the top side at 63. So a very short range over there. Price needs to keep consolidating within this level, and then ultimately you should start to see the next breakout, and then slowly but surely will trend up towards those all-time highs. Ethereum probably looks no different. There you have it. Same thing. Your 21 EMA, which is the yellow one, is going to be governing that overall trend. And here we can take this and let's just quickly lift it ever so slightly. probably that's going to be your next invalidation in the short term. So bulls in control so long as Ethereum holds above that $3,300 mark. All in all, it's looking good. Stock markets continue to rise towards all-time highs. Coinbase is also pushing up. If we put on our chart prime indicators over here, you can see also trend continuation, right? Trend continuation. All in all, that's looking good. Bullish. Let's move on. Okay. 𝗕𝗤𝗢𝗕𝗢. Is this one of my picks? I think buying it at current levels is a little bit challenging, but if you get a proper pullback, I think that playing the meme coins could be one road to millions. It's going to be very, very difficult with things that have very, very high market caps. If you're sitting with around a $10,000 portfolio, you're gonna need to really go far down the right-hand side of the risk curve, playing super, super low caps. I like this as a potential trade, right? Robinhood is listing 𝗕𝗤𝗢𝗢𝗕𝗢 as it tags almost $1, right? Is Coinbase next? This is something that could potentially get prices moving. And you know that WELSH has been, of course, one of our biggest trades, right? 7,000% trade over here. Pretty enormous. Now you need to, obviously, you're probably not gonna buy 3 coins and hold them for the entire cycle. But if you can identify 3 coins that are very, very strong in the short term, and then move into the next hot narrative where all the liquidity is flowing, where all the bees are going, then ultimately that's probably the way to do it, right? So we'll continue to hold this. Let's see if we can get this to 10,000% gains. We'll revisit the chart with 𝗕𝗤𝗢𝗢𝗕𝗢 in a moment, but here you can see a lot of posts about it. WELSH continues its rally with new highs nonstop. Will PEPE follow, right? Or he doesn't say will PEPE follow. He says PEPE will follow. And we do have PEPE here as well. Where's PEPE? PEPE. Or did I get stopped out? No, surely not. Surely I didn't get stopped out of PEPE. Let's see how the PEPE trade is doing. Okay, PEPE, we're still in PEPE, 1,852% up. I also have something very important to say about this, about these high leverage positions, because I got a comment in Whale Room. So I thought hopefully you're watching the show, the person that made this comment, so I can just hash this out. Yesterday, I coincidentally did a live session with you guys in Whale Room, and I covered your exact statement or question. The question was, somebody was trying to essentially copy trade me on a lot of these things, and they entered in and out of the trade, getting stopped out multiple times and liquidated because they were immediately opening up 25x long trades, because that's what they're seeing on my Bybit account. I showed you exactly how in Whale Room, in that video, it's been uploaded. You can go and rewatch it, how I go about scaling up these positions. In a nutshell, I start the positions relatively small and I wait for prices to break above key levels. So I'll have multiple different trades over here that are around 3x, which is, for example, you can see over here, here's one, here's 𝗕𝗢𝗕𝗢. Currently, I'm up 33% on 𝗕𝗢. So this is what I do. Go watch the video if you want the detailed analysis in Whale Room. Let's look at 𝗕𝗢 if this just loads up. There we go. There's my 𝗕𝗢 trade. I'm up 33%. If 𝗕𝗢 starts to clear some significant levels, like here at $700, and I start to see closing candles above there, and I see a series of higher highs and higher lows, then I'll start to raise the leverage, right? I'll simply just increase the leverage on the position, scale up the position, and move my stops into slight profit and give the chart or the trade an opportunity to run. Just to make that very, very clear, guys. So don't get wrecked. If you see me with a position open on 20x or 50x, it didn't start that way. I start building it on a low leverage position and then slowly but surely build that up. Cool. Let's move on over here. So PEPE could be one to continue. PEPE is looking relatively decent as well. All the meme coins are doing very, very well. Here you have Dogecoin showing signs that it's going to be breaking out of a very, very high time frame range. And the truth of the matter is retail are going to come to these first. But when they start to see things like WIF running, they might start to reposition because WIF will be outperforming things like Dogecoin. So it's frogs, dogs, cats, and maybe even rats. This is where the money's at. Now, we had a little bit of an inclination of what the next cycle would show, or the next narrative would show, because if you look back in 2020, before the pandemic dump that took place, DeFi was the hot topic. DeFi was pumping relentlessly towards the upside, and the best performing narrative for the rest of that bull run leading into from 2020 March, when they started to stimulate with the stimmy checks that everyone around the world received. From then all the way to November of 2021, the top performing sector was DeFi. Now, if you look at the pre-rallies that we had last year, the kind of test pumps, if you want to call it that, it was meme coins. Meme coins was where it was at, right? And now we're starting to see the same thing, right? So ultimately, I think that the top picks would be in the meme coin sector. The top picks are in the meme coin sector. Now, here's the list, right? You got WIF, BONK, Floki, SHIB, DOGE, PEPE, 𝗓, 𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗕𝗓, WELSH, 𝗲𝗏𝗏, 𝗓𝗘𝗓𝗓, 𝗏𝗏𝗓𝗓. We got 𝗕𝗓𝗓𝗓𝗓. I mean, we got some ridiculous names over here. Absolutely insane. Let me just cancel. Someone's calling me. And then some of the top performers are not even yet chartable. We got 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗓. Now, personally, I think that this is a pick that's worth allocating at least some into. It is very low market cap, so I have to say this with caution, a big caution sign over there. Be very, very careful aping into something like this. It is still sub $10 million market cap, but the truth of the matter is if you're dealing with a small size portfolio and you're looking to make it big, you're going to have to play riskier coins that have the potential to run. So we've identified that there is a bit of a narrative there within the meme coins. And if we go into this tweet from actually one of our researchers, you guys should follow him, great guy. He says researcher and meme lord. He says here, with the ETH ETF, which is going to be coming up, there'll be 2 months of capital injection on chain, right? Everybody's going to be putting money on chain for the ETH upgrade. The biggest leverage play will be 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗓, which is Vitalik's cat. I brought this to your attention already. Vitalik also approved the contract. So what it means is when he approves the contract, it goes the additional capital goes into a charity, right? And he sold it to charity just like he did with Shiba Inu. Now, you remember the last cycle, Shiba Inu was one of the top performers. And he says over here, selling any big ETH on-chain memes now is the worst mistake that you can make in crypto. You want to be buying and holding those. This is the greatest ETH leverage play on the ETF news, and it stands out from all other dog memes. There's a chance that GCR Classic, who's a major degen within the space, is right, and retail chooses cats, and this flips the dogs. So I say have a little bit of both. Have the WIF hat, have the 𝗕𝗬𝗕𝗓, have one cat, one dog. Why not? The chart looks amazing. He says it's still below 10 million, and liquidity to market cap ratio is amazing. Now, I believe there's some big names out there which have hinted that they're starting to buy into this token ever so slowly. So I would DCA in, right? You don't want to ape in now. This candle's obviously been pretty substantial. When we first mentioned it earlier on this week, I think it was on Wednesday, it went up about 150%. It went up another 100% yesterday. Be careful with these ones. Slowly but surely gain exposure, right? And this should be your gamble money. Consider this your gamble money. That's how you can go from rags to riches. Okay, we'll move into some of the altcoin picks in just a moment. The other position that I started to establish, which I think has longer term potential, is one of the larger cap coins that's in price discovery. Well, not yet. It needs to just break above the range highs, but it's very close to price discovery, is Injective. So I have taken out an Injective trade. I literally just entered into it moments before the show. That's the level. And the reason why, well, I'll show you on the other chart. This is the reason why. Okay, let's go to, where is my proper charts? Here we go. Okay, let's go to Injective. This is the trade for Injective. We're looking at, here you go. Okay, now you may wonder, well, why didn't I enter over there? I did enter over there, but I actually got stopped out. I was over leveraged on the position. So I've started to rescale back into the position, but you're ultimately looking at the big move up, the long-term consolidation. The break above $43.68 would show that the breakout is real and it's happening. Conservative target, we're taking this up to $56.38. And the moon target, which would be your 2.168 fib extension, is going to be $74.48, which gives you, from current price levels, let's just work it out to see how much upside potential you still have over here. 34% first target, and then to the next target, you're looking at about 78%. So pretty big move, substantial moves over there. That's one thing that I'm looking at. We'll get into some of the other trades. I have started to also build a bit of a gaming portfolio over here on BitGet. So this is my current positions. I'll quickly go to the asset section and show you. Spot. All right, these are the current positions. I took out a little bit on OX. That was one of the newest trades that I added. Everything has been dropped ahead of time in Whale Room. For those of you who wanted all of this, of course it was in there. This is a little bit of a DGen gaming portfolio that I've started to build. Yes, OX is not gaming, but it's listed on BitGet, hence I took that one there. So that's what I'm looking at. Those are some of the positions. Bybit, we still have all the different leverage trades, so everything is going pretty well. A couple of them are underwater. I'll start to cut those. One that I want to update you on is Jupiter, because Jupiter started to move nicely. So this one's very close to the point where I'm going to start to scale it up, right? I wanted to see multiple closing candles occurring over here above the breakout level at 60 cents. We've started to close candles above 60 cents. So we up now almost 60%. I'm going to start to increase the position size on that one very, very soon. All right. So coins that I'm looking at, WIF, Hemule, Injective. If you have more capital to allocate and you're looking for longer term holds that I believe will survive multiple bear markets, Chainlink would be one of the other picks. Right? If the spot ETF narratives start to pick up and we had the Bitcoin ETF on spot and then the ETH one gets approved, the next one that I think people will start to hype up about is probably going to be Chainlink. Okay. Cool. Let's go into a couple of your chart requests. Drop your coins that you want charted below. And then I guess, Josh, if you can just tally up a couple of those, let me know what they want. Guys, smash the like button as well. And then also important is your security, right? I have to bring something up. There's a lot of impersonators out there, even within the Whale Room Discord community. They are impersonating both me and the rest of the team. And don't ever give your capital to anyone else. Don't give your money to anyone else. There's going to be an increase of hacks, scams, all different types of malicious attacks. You want to stay protected. Look at this. Serenity Shield's token fell nearly 99% after their MetaMask wallet got breached. Be careful on with regards to the links that you click on. You can use NordVPN as one extra layer of protection. There's a link in the description below. You'll get 30-day money back guaranteed if you don't like it, and you're getting 67% off. It works out to 9 cents per day. So you're paying more on funding rates, right? Let's see, how much money have I paid on funding rates? Funding rates over here. Look at these positions, $147.34. Let's see, how much have I paid on that WIF trade? Here we go. I've paid $165 just on funding for the WIF trade. So make sure that you stay protected for 9 cents a day. Also, guys, remember to participate in the Win a Bitcoin competition by signing up to Bybit and BitGet. You can claim your sign-up bonuses and you're eligible to enter into this competition. The closest guess to what the price of Bitcoin will become the 15th of May will win one entire full Bitcoin. But you have to take 10 trades there, which shouldn't be a problem since I've given you literally, how many? 35 trades, and most of them are in profit. 90% of those are in profit, and I've given you spot trades as well. Cool. Let's go into some of the chart requests very, very quickly. Let's see. Here's Injective holding this key range high level. I like this for potential high low. Let's see if this thing can start to get sent. I think if it starts to break above this 46, 47 level, we should start to see expansion towards the upside. Okay, I see you guys want dog with hat. You guys want dog with hat. Let's go. Let's get to the hats. Okay, dog with hat. Here's the levels. This is what's happening. Let's see if price can consolidate. Things can get crazy within these markets, but essentially these were the extension zones that I was looking at. 60 cents as target 1, 79 as target 2, and $1 pretty much as target 3. And it hit that on the nose. It hit exactly $1. Big psychological number. If it can start to get above that, these guys are probably going to start to push the narrative of 2, 3, 4. It's the first meme coin, I think, that's hit $1 mark, right? So they obviously ran the tokenomics pretty intellectually to get it to that level. Let's see what's happening with some of the other memes over here. BONK Okay, breaking out above a key level. Will it take out those highs? Possibly, but there were a lot of people underwater previously. This is still, it's going to run with Solana, right? Bonk's on Solana, it will run with Solana. Let's see, Floki also clearing some key levels, breaking above that last 4 digits, 4343, holding and consolidating above that will be a good thing. Shiba Inu, what's going on in Shiba? Okay, broke a pivot level over here. I wouldn't play around with Shiba. Imagine the pain that these guys had if they even come halfway back to the hundreds of thousands that they lost, if not millions. They're going to exit. Rather look to the new coins, right? Doge might be one exception purely because of Elon Musk's involvement, and I don't like to fade Elon, but holding and breaking out of a high time frame level. Ironically, Doge is one of the very, very few coins that has outperformed Bitcoin in terms of if you work out Doge versus BTC charts and you look at the prior highs of the previous cycles. Doge broke its USDC all-time highs every cycle and its BTC highs. So maybe one not to fade. Maybe one not to fade. Let's see PEPE. Okay, PEPE is still good. We're in the long over there. I want to see it hold up around this level. What would be phenomenal for the meme coins now is to consolidate within that area for a number of months, right? Bouncing between the top and the bottom over here, that creates a huge trading opportunity. If it does create a range level between those candles, that 33% moves between top and bottom. Okay, when also, sadly, one of my, out of the 42 positions, I got stopped out of 7 trades in profit. This was sadly one of them because I had my entry over here on this candle. Out of this position, you might get a throwback into the last couple of digits again, the 10,000, so 10,000 mark. If you do, that's probably going to be a buying opportunity. Okay, WELSH. How's WELSH doing? WELSH is picking up. You had this liquidation to the downside. No surprise because it hit target 1. That was target 1. Look for the higher low and reaccumulation. Target 2 coming up at 0.01158. Target 3 at 0.014. Okay, Myro. Let's quickly look at Myro. Also, Myro breaking out of the range over here. This was Myro's target. So when we said over here, watch for the macro higher low, bouncing off of the range low, and you're going long. You're going into target 1 and target 2 coming in at 14.3. So that's it from me, guys. Let's cut it off over there. Don't want it to go too long. Make sure that you join us if you are in Whale Room. We'll be doing live sessions often. We'll be doing the live trading. I'll update you there on the injective call, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Cheers for now.